Thinking, Fast and Slow, by Daniel Kahneman presents a comprehensive examination of the dual systems that govern human thought. System 1 is fast, automatic, intuitive, and often emotional. It governs everyday activities like detecting hostility in a voice or solving simple math problems. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, effortful, and deliberate. It's responsible for complex reasoning, critical thinking, and self-control, such as solving difficult equations or evaluating arguments. Most people rely heavily on System 1, allowing it to form impressions and judgments, while System 2 is often lazy, merely endorsing System 1's conclusions unless there's a clear error. A central theme involves cognitive biases and heuristics, mental shortcuts that can lead to systematic errors. The availability heuristic makes people judge the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind, which is why rare but dramatic events like plane crashes are perceived as more common than they are. The anchoring effect shows how initial exposure to a number influences subsequent judgments, even when the number is arbitrary. The conjunction fallacy illustrates how people can wrongly assume that specific conditions are more probable than general ones, as seen in the example of Linda, who is described in a way that makes people think she is more likely to be a feminist bank teller than simply a bank teller. Overconfidence is another major cognitive distortion. People tend to create narratives that make past events seem more predictable than they were, a phenomenon known as hindsight bias. This overconfidence often leads individuals, including experts, to trust their intuitions and predictions more than they should. In forecasting and decision-making, data-driven models tend to outperform human intuition, even among trained professionals. Prospect theory, one of Kahneman's major contributions to behavioral economics, reveals that people do not evaluate outcomes based on absolute value, but rather in terms of gains and losses relative to a reference point. Losses loom larger than gains, a phenomenon called loss aversion. As a result, people tend to be risk-averse when facing potential gains and risk-seeking when trying to avoid losses. This helps explain behavior like purchasing insurance or gambling. Kahneman also distinguishes between the experiencing self and the remembering self. The experiencing self lives in the moment and processes ongoing experiences, while the remembering self evaluates those experiences later and makes decisions about future behavior. People's memories tend to emphasize the peak moments and the ending of experiences rather than the average or total duration. This explains why individuals might prefer a longer discomfort with a better ending over a shorter experience that ends badly. Understanding the interaction between System 1 and System 2, along with the various biases and heuristics that affect judgment, enables better decision-making. Kahneman suggests using algorithms slowing down to engage System 2 and questioning intuitive judgments in high-stakes situations. By recognizing these cognitive patterns, individuals can improve reasoning and reduce errors in thinking.